Johnston and Shamrock. Let's go up to our Octagon announcer tonight, Manny Garcia, for the formal introduction of the fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, SEG Sports Corporation welcomes you to the Alabama State Fairgrounds Arena in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama, for the greatest martial arts competition in the world. It's the Ultimate Fighting Championship Tournament of Champions, the Ultimate 96. 8 of the world's toughest fighters will walk into this octagon tonight. 8 battle-seasoned veterans, and only one will emerge victorious. Tonight, there are no weight classes, no rounds, no timeouts. Are you ready? Let's get it on! A kickboxer with a record of 12-0 in amateur competition. He also holds a black belt in judo and is the reigning Northern California Golden Gloves Super Heavyweight Champion. 2-2 in UFC competition, 27 years old, 6 feet 4 inches tall, and weighing in at 238 pounds, fighting out of San Jose, California. A veteran of UFC 10 and UFC 11, Brian Johnston. His opponent, representing the art of submission, fighting from Lockford, California, undefeated in UFC super fight competition, 32 years old, 6 feet 220 pounds, 2-time super fight champion with a record of 5-2-2, the master of the octagon, The Rock, Ken Shamrock.
Here we go, the ultimate, 100% pure adrenaline, 1,000% pure guts.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on!
Don't blink. Shamrock and Johnston. Shamrock says he's only going forward. He wants to be aggressive. No more tactical games. Let's see.
Shamrock will probably want to close after an extended strike from Johnston. Some questions need to be answered here about Brian Johnston, how much he has improved in the ground attack role.
Kick by Johnston, but Shamrock was waiting for it and drills him into the fence.
And has him down now, guard assumed by Johnston.
He's got him up against the octagon fence and lands a right hand. Shamrock lands another. Shamrock continues to explode.
Johnston with his head against the fence is vulnerable because he doesn't have the space to move it back now. So he always stays in range.
Let's go there, Brian, let's go!
Johnston being warned by referee John McCarthy to move. Not an easy task right now. Shamrock's right hand is his best hand.
Right hand by Shamrock again.
Another one, Shamrock landing again. You want to win as quick as possible. You've got to win 3 bouts in a night.
Look it up, Brian, let's go!
But Johnston is strong.
You almost wonder when Shamrock starts driving you whether you should go down in the center where you have room to maneuver rather than get pushed all the way to the fence and find yourself in this kind of a situation.
A multitude of right hands landed by Shamrock. First he went upstairs, then to the midsection.
Keep working, Ken.
Shamrock's grappling background will allow him to stay in this mounted position. He won't give it up. His balance is very good.
Shamrock landing again. He's got Johnston wedged against that octagon where he can score. 2 minutes in.
Doing good.
For Johnston, I'm sure it seems longer than that.
He's doing the right thing, though, hanging on to Shamrock's head, trying to keep Shamrock from creating too much distance where there's so much space you can thread those big punches through.
And Johnston has the fury to try to make a move if he can. Shamrock lands another right. Johnston fighting back. Shamrock continues to land.
He's in the great position here.
A plethora of right hands by Shamrock.
No panic by Johnston yet.
Let go of the fence. Get your hand off the fence. Get your hand off the fence.
And there's one of the new rules employed by the Ultimate Fighting Championship. You can't use that fence anymore for a long period of time.
Strictly to hang on or to use as a leverage to throw those punches. You hear McCarthy demanding that Shamrock let go while engaged in those strikes.
What about Johnston's defense right now, Jeff?
Johnston's playing good defense, except that he's keeping his head against the fence. I would sacrifice exposing myself to try to turn 180 and face towards the center of the octagon. That way he doesn't have the fence holding his head up, keeping him in striking range.
Been this way for the entire fight. Shamrock on top, Johnston on the bottom. 12-minute bout, 3-minute OT if necessary.
Well, we'll be coming up on the 4-minute mark, but it's been all Shamrock thus far. Ooh, an elbow by Johnston.
He worked that right hand free. Shamrock comes back.
Come on, let's work.
They thought this might be a great fight. Thus far, it has lived up to it. Shamrock in control, but Johnston hanging in there, surviving, looking for his opportunity.
Johnston showing his mettle. Again, McCarthy employs him to move. Easier said than done.
You can notice now Shamrock has gone to his left hand to punch. You wonder if he started to punch out that right arm a little bit, and he's giving it a rest. Let it re-energize. Good left hook.
Snap that left hook to the head of Johnston. Back to the body. Those body blows will stick with you until the wee hours of the morning if you can put them together for a while.
Let go of the fence. I'll break you apart. Your hands up.
Approaching 5 minutes in.
The crowd urging Ken Shamrock on. He has quite a following in the fighting world.
Shamrock again on top of Brian Johnston. Opening bout of the Ultimate 96. Left hand by Shamrock. They're short, quick punches.
Not a lot of power.
Yep.
Not a lot of power, Bruce, but certainly adding up in terms of judges' points.
Bothersome.
And absolutely bothersome. You know you're getting hit, even though you know you're not being punished with the strike. It certainly is still scoring in the back of your mind saying, hey, I'm getting hit. Johnston's going to have to do something desperate here.
Come on, let's go.
Shamrock snuck in a couple of headbutts.
Get out of there.
That's a tap. That's a tap. It's over. Shamrock wore down Brian Johnston and wins his quarterfinal bout. Shamrock said he would be aggressive and not go backwards. He was true to his word. His wife Tina looks on. There's the mutual respect for one another. And John McCarthy will now raise the arm of Shamrock.
The winner of the first quarterfinal,
5:49.
Shamrock.
Shamrock back in the main draw with a vengeance.
One good thing for Ken Shamrock, if his strategy is to avoid attrition and avoid punishment, he went out, created the environment he wanted to, and was relentless with those punches and the strikes, never allowing Johnston even a moment of offense. And that really is going to pay dividends. And that's going to pay dividends in the end. It appeared as though at the tap, Shamrock had some kind of an arm across the throat, or maybe, Johnston was a little bit fatigued as well.
John McCarthy said he had a forearm choke, which forced the tap out. Let's take a look at some of the action, Jeff.
Well, it was all Shamrock from the start. He bided his time, waited for the extended strike, and as Johnston tried to kick, he shot the double leg, drove him all the way to the fence, and immediately assumed the top position.
Shamrock once had a nickname, One Punch Shamrock. For a while, he didn't like the nickname. Now he says, I don't mind if you call me that again, because he wants to unload that right hand.
You certainly want to take your opponent out and get the fight over with quickly in this tournament, and you can see those big right hands, one after the other, and it stayed that way. And there, the arm across the throat, fatigue on Johnston's mind. He's never had an opportunity to even get going in this fight. He taps out.